Hi, I'm Paul, and today we're going to be talking through some of the latest Upshot product developments. If you're ever wondering where to find these updates, you can always click on the What's New in the top right hand corner of your account. This will detail all the latest updates and several of the elements we're going to talk about today. The first one is an exciting development that gives organisations the ability to customise the order of their internal registration form as well as the order of the fields within a headcount. This can help to make these elements feel more bespoke and personal to the organisation, as well as allowing these to be moulded more in line with any physical copies of these elements you might have, making data input more easy and accessible. This development will be rolled out to all organisations in the coming months, but if you'd like early access, please just reach out to us at support. So let's assume this feature has been turned on for the account, and let's take the registration form as an example. Regular users will know that the internal registration form, either when adding someone new or when viewing an existing profile, runs in a structured way. This starts with the Upshot default fields, set out in these different sections, before ending with these inbuilt consent fields, and then finally any custom questions that your organisation has. With this development, you can change all of this. When this feature is turned on for your account, system admins will be able to go to the new Admin Configure Attendee Fields page. This page will allow users to change the order of fields within the form. So for example, I might want to start with the identification photo at the top here. I can make that change. I can change the order of the existing sections. So I could edit the sections and maybe have permissions at the top here, for example. I can change the name of the existing sections as well. So maybe basic details gets renamed to personal information. And I can create brand new custom sections as well. So I might add a new section called referrer details. Let's save these changes for now, but just add a couple of fields into our referrer details section. And actually we might want to have that at the top. Maybe just under the permissions. So if I change this now from edit sections to back to the specific fields that we can add to the sections, what I can do here is I can take some of my referral questions and add them into here. I can search for them, or I can click and drag any available fields, or ones already used in the form I can click and drag and move in as so. Here then, if I save these changes and I return to the people add new page, you'll see those changes outlined. We now start with the permissions field. We've then got our custom section we've just created. We've got our personal information here, but with the identification photo at the top, and it's just given me much more flexibility around this. Organisations can now create multiple choice timeline events. This will be particularly helpful in use cases where currently separate individual timeline events are being recorded, but all associated with the same conversation or interaction with the attendee. In this example, I want to add my one-to-one discussion notes or themes with Mohammed onto his timeline. What I can do now with the multiple choice timeline event is I could have a selection like this and suggest that we spoke about the following. In my example, there could be other use cases for this. I add my notes and add my timeline event. This has saved me time from what previously may have been a series of separate timeline events or a way of just recording this in the notes. System admins can create multiple choice timeline events at any time by going to admin, timeline events, and selecting the option here. Surveys can be a powerful way of tracking the impact of your delivery. Often, organisations use a pre-post survey or something similar to see that change or progress over time in individuals. A common example of this might be the Warwick Edinburgh Mental Wellbeing Scale. The system's inbuilt survey comparison tool can be an effective way of understanding the difference being made, allowing us here to compare the baseline and the 3-month follow-up responses, and seeing that 10 people have completed both the baseline and the 3-month follow-up, and a breakdown of their scores in comparison to a particular question, with their different averages here, and how many people have maybe had a positive change in relation to this particular scale question about optimism about the future. Previously, it was only possible to compare all these responses together, so all 10 people at once, with no way of filtering this down further. This is now possible, allowing organisations to understand more about the attendees where the biggest impact is being made. At the top of this comparison page, we will now see we have the option to filter by, and users may choose to filter based on any criteria available within the people report, as well as responses within a certain date period, which can be helpful for long-running surveys. Other common examples of how you might want to filter this could be people based on certain demographics, so i.e. understanding the responses of those of a certain gender or age, or people from an area of deprivation, or people based on attending a particular project, activity or session. All of these filters are available here. For example, I might now run this to just look at responses from females. Here we can see that comparison is of less individuals, and we see the breakdown in relation to their specific scores, the different averages, and again, how many people had a positive change. So a really good way of surfacing those people where the biggest or perhaps the smallest impact has been made of your delivery.